about that. Okay, we're live, and my head is really hot. I just got back from a run, and I think I can deal with this. I got my ServiceNow AI agents are here shirt. Um, it felt like a good shirt to wear right after a run. I didn't shower or anything. I was like, yeah, I don't want to wear this in public anywhere, so it'll work. Well, not that YouTube is in public, but happy Wednesday, the 13th of August, 2025. For those of you that were here last week in my epic fail of doing the browser extension for Employee Center, I haven't worked on that since last week. We've been a bit busy. My friend Joe spent some time on it. Joe, if you're out there, um, thanks for sending me that text message on, I think it was Friday. He was doing some work on it. But I haven't played with it at all. And I actually wasn't going to stream today because I need to work on the ServiceNow Zurich Store Release 1. And I was like, well, why don't I just work on it on the live stream? One editorial note. Let me pull up the thumbnails for these live streams. I want to show something. This is my first use of GPT-5. So all my thumbnails now I generate with ChatGPT. And so today I went in and asked it to generate this one. Let me bring this forward here. Yeah. So I asked it to generate a image of a storefront in Zurich, Switzerland, with a queue of people outside, and asked it to be photorealistic, right? So not animated or anything. And what I think is funny about this, just nothing wrong with it, is the similarities between the characters that are shown here, right? So like that looks like the same guy almost. Can't really see their faces. This is definitely like the same guy with the same jacket, but different backpacks and a little bit different of a balding line. But I just thought it was interesting that this repeating was happening, even though it's not quite repeating. Like to me and you, it looks repetitive on the actual picture. But yeah, brought to you by ChatGPT 5.0, I think they're calling it, is where that came from. So a little editorial note about that. Why is my Oh, it's because I'm wearing black. It looks like I look different than I usually do. Okay, so store release 1. Just if you're not aware, ServiceNow released Zurich early access on Thursday the 31st. So if you go to the documentation site, you should see a link for Zurich or Zurich, however you pronounce it. I just pronounce it differently every time just to be weird. And if you click on release notes for upgrading from Yokohama, that's usually typically where I start. And then my crawler actually ran on the all of the features. I haven't even messed with that yet, so I'm still in the land of ServiceNow Store applications, using my SSH vehicle, so ServiceNow Store highlights. And what I did last week was I filtered out all the ServiceNow stuff because there's just can I say cuss words? Maybe not cuss. There is a ton of them for Zurich. It was over 900 new or updated applications, and I've got 698 left to go. It is so many, but it's actually interesting. And let me give you a preview of what I've processed so far. So let me go to SSH version 2025 0805, I think it was. Yeah, 0805. And then I'm going to filter out not screened, I think. No, I want to show matching on ServiceNow. So that's 992 new or updated applications from ServiceNow. And you can see here I've categorized a bunch of these. So I want to filter out the not screened. So just filter these out. So I've gone through 294 of them. Yay me! That was fun. Typically I do this like in between tasks or between meetings or while I'm watching TV or something like that. But the numbers we have so far with the 294 that I've done is 116 compatibility updates. So 116, now this is like a lot of the App Engine Studio and UI Builder like background applications. The applications you don't really even know that are there. They just get pulled in as dependencies. So if you were to upgrade UI Builder, for example, it's going to bring in all these UI Builder toolkit and the different components and stuff automatically. You don't have to go actually upgrade and install these. 38 fixes. There were 3 ghosts from ServiceNow. So AWS AI Discovery, Breakdown, Data Grid, UI Component, and Trusted Security Circles Advanced. So 3 so far. 52 minor updates and 64 new releases. I actually haven't gone through these. Well, technically, I kind of scanned through them looking for live stream content, and that's where I found the browser extension for Employee Center that was a fail last week. So rather than have another fail this week, I thought I'd just do something that I know is going to work. But more importantly, let's check out what I actually highlighted. So these are applications, 21 of the 294 that I say, hey, this is actually new stuff. It's interesting. And let's see if anything jumps out at me. Applicant Center. Oh, the appointment calendar component. I was really impressed. I'm really impressed with the component from ServiceNow. I was really impressed with the release notes on this one. There's this one, and there's, I think the calendar component also have just as much about how much like configuration they're doing in here. So the slot layout configuration, the text truncation behavior, secondary and tertiary info display, weak view enhancements and slot state handling and time duration config options and UI builder, time zone display, view configuration, more button behavior in a collapse state, categories and tags, look and feel updates. I mean, good grief. This is an appointment calendar component. And, someone on the live stream last week asked what I think about UI builder. And I kind of hedged the question and didn't really answer other than to say that I can see where they're going. It's a lot. But look at all this. This is a calendar component, and there's so much development going on this single component, right? This is a single thing of hundreds of things you can put into a workspace in the next experience. So I was impressed with that. So that became a highlight. And that was the appointment calendar, but I believe the calendar component was just as detailed as that one. So let's go down here. Yeah. So resizable calendar sections, column config, gradient event colors, auto date selection removed on month change, updated calendar picker behavior, calendar performance improvements. I mean, good grief, just lots of stuff. The other one that I found interesting was the CIO dashboard. I installed this in my Zurich instance, and none of these performance analytics things are running. So it's really poor to show right now. In fact, I guess I can show it. I'm gonna have to log in. Dev. Let's see. That's my username, and where is my? Nope, that's my Outlook. Sorry, guys. Where's my Bitwarden? There it is. Dev19. Okay, so you saw my password there, and of course I've got to do the authenticator. Dev19. Do not challenge me. 936582. Okay. So I downloaded it, installed it. I guess I installed it. I didn't download it, and it was okay. Like I've got to go turn on a bunch of stuff, obviously, if I'm gonna get this to work. So this is what it looks like when you put it on. For me, I'm in a demo hub environment, so there's plenty of data here. I just think these are all probably jobs that need to run, data collection jobs that I haven't turned on. So there's the overview, the value, the operations, the security, the execution, the experience. So potentially a cool dashboard, but not working for me right now. But what they've done is they've migrated the CIO dashboard from the legacy dashboard to the platform analytics experience, which me, if you watch the channel, I'm a fan of platform analytics. Okay, so that was that. Let's see what else. Basic scoring for smart assessments. I thought this was cool. They're introducing normalization as part of the section or the question section, subsection, and assessment levels. So that's pretty neat. I just had a recent encounter with this because I had a client or a customer asking about the scores calculated in enterprise architecture that uses indicators in a scoring profile. And there's a bunch of normalization going on. And the math gets really weird when there's normalization going on for me. So I find it interesting that they're introducing this normalization to assessment scoring. So that was new in what I've seen so far. What else? CMDB class models, they always get an update. That was neat. Collaborative work management. I was using this for a while and I stopped. But what they've introduced here is basically bring any task type into the CWM board, which I was able to do already. Someone helped me do that on the live stream. But now it's supporting the agile planning and executing in sprints on a board, which I found interesting. And let's see, space owners, content tree, drag and drop, templates for boards, and keyboard shortcuts, which who does not love keyboard shortcuts? Let's see what else. There's one more on the next page. Yeah, so 21 highlights so far. Why did I highlight this thing? SN help setup. Why would I highlight this? Oh yeah, provide an ability to direct embed a guided setup into a UI builder page / app console page without using iframes. I found that interesting. So yeah, so maybe I'll get a play around at some point with SN help setup. It's a component to use in UI builder. So all right, so that's what I've processed so far. So for the rest of this live stream, I'm going to finish processing, or I'm not going to finish. There's 698 of them left, but you're going to see me go through these. So say hi, leave me a comment, or move on and do something else more productive, because this is really only serving and helping me understand what came out in the Zurich release. I'll put out a video of what I find at some point, but let's go ahead and filter on not screened. And oh, did I pull up the wrong episode? Let's go back. This was this week's episode, which I released yesterday. So if you haven't seen that, yesterday was 39 new or updated or removed applications in the ServiceNow store. So this is the big kahuna, 1026, 698 left to screen here. So let's go ahead and filter not screened. All right. So first up on the list, critical event management. I didn't know there was such a thing as critical event management. Safeguard your employee. Okay, interesting. Fixed ACL mismatch. There's a lot of this going on. ACL mismatch between application and documentation. Lots of fixes in what ServiceNow released. Let's see, CSM and configurable workspace foundation. Oh my, I've got quite a few things. Now, what I do for each one of these is I go back and make sure that the release notes actually change. This is my service to you, the public, making sure that, okay, did they just copy and paste the release notes from the last time, or is this actually something new? And this one it's just started raining, which is good. I just got done with my run. It would have been nice if it rained during my run, like Monday. But yeah, it's raining. I can't show you the outside. Okay, I can hear it though. Let's see, CSM-centered chat interaction page. Redesign the interaction page with a modernized central chat component. Thin, composed, modeless dialogue. Start comments, work notes, or emails from the activity stream in a non-blocking dialogue. Wow, it's really coming down. New streamlined lookup component replaces previous lookup and verify on CSM configurable workspace pages. Inbox panel collapses upon item selection for better screen focus. Choose between auto or manual alert, dismiss globally or per alert to reduce overload and enhance focus. Consolidate ServiceNow tabs and easily share record links via common collaboration platforms, cross-platform support, and easy on-off control. And the fresh, brand neutral Coral theme is now the default for new experiences. It includes a dark theme option. Interesting. New options for quarterly time grouping, dynamic refresh for history, recommended actions enhancement. There was a lot of recommended actions enhancements in other products or workspaces too. Set as the first tab for instant agent across all major CSM pages. Loads async. Agents can now send KB articles via SMS. Well, that's pretty cool. Default recommendations available to pro customers with contextual insights such as similar cases. Easily access special handling information from the case record action bar across key tables. And I really want to go upgrade CSM and see what this looks like. We now have a column search, right click and filter out conditional builder in the list view. So they've introduced list parity between the old UI and the new workspace UI. Interesting. Okay, this is definitely going to be a highlight. I definitely want to get in there and play with that at some point. So that was the CSM and configurable workspace foundation. Now there's the integrations. This might have just been versioned to keep up with the versioning. Let's see. Nope. The same release notes as the main app there. So no news there. I won't highlight that one. We'll just say compatibility update. CSM configurable workspace, probably going to be the same thing. Yeah, same stuff. So we'll call that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call this compatibility because that's the foundations. And let's make compatible works or configurable workspace the highlight when this gets posted. So that'll be the highlight. And then look up and verify, which we just saw that got enhanced in this version. Yeah, same release notes. So compatibility, customer central, also part of CSM. Real-time updates in customer history, configure background color for icon and activity type, configure activity grouping, display activities, customer activity has been renamed, customer history, and security defects fix in customer information. I'm going to call that a minor update. Let's just make sure that it did actually change. Yeah, it did change. So that's a minor update. Oh, by the way, I got a new mouse. You cannot hear this thing. Like I double click on it and you can't hear it. I think it's pretty cool. No clickety click when I'm clicking. Anyways, random there. Let's see, data model enhancements to support advanced lifecycle change management workflows. Wah, wah. That was customer contracts and entitlements. Yeah, that sounds like a minor update. Customer data models for B2B2C, so it's business to business to consumer. Enhance the account customer table security by adding deny unless ACLs. Speaking of this, a lot of the store apps, I've noticed this happening. So it's not just ServiceNow, but other vendors are going and updating their apps and adding deny ACLs to their table. So I don't know if this is some security recommendation that ServiceNow has made in general, but I'm seeing that a lot in the App Store updates. And let's see what else. They've removed the relationship contributor and relationship agent roles from existing ACLs as part of the transition to the declarative responsibility framework. Declarative, what? Is this something new? Does anybody know about this? Declarative responsibility framework. That was my running camera. I let the battery run all the way out. Typically refers to a system where responsibilities are defined through a declarative approach, meaning the desired state or outcome is specified rather than the step-by-step instructions on how to achieve it. This contrasts with an imperative approach where the process is explicitly laid out. Examples include declarative UI frameworks like React and Swift UI, where you describe the UI's desired state and the framework handles the rendering, or declarative compliance frameworks where policies are defined using code and the system's desired state is declared. Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, and I'm not that deep in design, but this is a minor update. Minor update. Okay. Customer lifecycle. Are my snacks here? I forgot about my snacks. Jerry Wong bought me snacks. You're going to get a preview. There's my green screen going up. And this is good because I haven't eaten anything at all today. I threw those chips out. They're still in the trash, but this is what the other one I tried. So I got 3 things left. I'm going to take a vote. So if you're watching the live stream, can I do a poll? Well, I can't do it across LinkedIn and YouTube, but if you're watching, let me know. Do you want to see me eat the Cadbury cream egg bar or Highland specialty shortbread fingers or Milka Alpine milk? All right, leave a comment. I'll give it a few minutes for the live stream to catch up. Just to repeat that one more time. Cadbury cream egg, and if only one person responds, I'm going to do what the one person says. Shortbread fingers and Alpine milk. I wonder if it's like Alpine because it's minty, and there's this cute little adorable cow. That's too shiny. You can't. There you go, Milka. So one of the 3. Tell me which one you want me to try. These are from Jerry Wong in, I believe he's in. Is it Cambridge? Might be Cambridge. Or somewhere near there. I'm not familiar with the geography of the UK, but tell me which snack to eat. There's 7 of you out there. There's 5 on YouTube and there's 2 on LinkedIn. So one of you, please tell me what to eat. And there is comments. They're coming through. I'm just not hearing them. Holy crap. There we go. I've turned the audio on. Okay, Certain 591. Did that employee center program from last week work for you for version 2? Joe texted me like probably an hour ago, asking me the same thing, and I haven't even looked at it. Certain 591, haven't even touched it. I've just been working on other projects and trying to get through these store release notes. So no, I haven't done it. Microwave the milk chocolate and eat with the fingers. Really? Is that a thing? Okay, I don't have a microwave in my office, and I don't want to leave the live stream. So does that mean I should hold off on this because it's better when it's microwaved? Why would you want me to microwave this? What? 100% Alpine and milk chocolate. Okay, so this is one. Unless somebody else says something, certain 591. This is what I'm going to try. It's in a different language. What language is that? Where's English? Okay, ingredients. I'm not used to English being the last language on a candy bar. Ingredients: sugar, cocoa butter, cocoa mass. What? What's cocoa mass? Is that like a religious cocoa? Cocoa mass, skimmed milk powder, whey powder from milk, milk fat, emulsifier, in parentheses, soya lectins, hazelnut paste. Okay, that sounds delicious. Hazelnut paste, flavoring with the OU, and cocoa solids, 33% minimum, milk solids, 18% minimum, and may contain other nuts and wheat. All right, so certain 591, you've narrowed it down to these two. I guess I'll go with the chocolate since I can't microwave it, and it sounds like this might be better with this. Well, I could, you know what I could do? All right, opening it. I hope this is good. I don't know what alpine milk means. Is that milk that's like from a cow that's on the alpine part of the forest? Like it's usually typically colder as you go up in elevation. Is that what that alpine milk means? We can Google it. And by we, I mean me. All right. So I got, okay, it's broken in half. This is what it looks like. And so I'm going to go that direction. And then I'm going to do just one little thing here. Okay. It doesn't smell, actually it smells good. God, last week's was so bad. All right. Okay. That's redeeming. Oh my God. I'm getting a head rush. I don't eat sugar. And wow. It's not super sweet, but it's sweet enough that my body's like, whoa, you just got something delicious. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sweets. I don't know why. Never have been. But that is delicious. I'm definitely a fan of the milk bar. Oh my gosh. Very, very good. Thank you, certain 591. Next time I'll haul microwave into my office. My office is separate from my house. I work from home, so it would look kind of funny me carrying a microwave out here, but it could be done. Okay, enough distractions. That was really good. Thank goodness, because last week was really bad. All right, this one is customer lifecycle management workflows. Improved mappings to support delta pricing in the MACD flows. Move, add, change, disconnect, I think, is MACD. Added sold product adjustment table entity mappings. Expanded support for the following columns. And okay, I'm going to call this a minor update. It's like incremental kind of stuff. Customer service install base management. Support to capture provider service organization and unique identifier on the install base item table, support to capture pricing information, support for the base table, and some defect fixes. So we'll go with a minor update on that one. The customer service portal, this is usually a fun one. Defect fixes, not so fun this time. And let's see, let's go back a version, bug fixes. So they did change the release notes to defect fixes. So we'll just categorize that as a fix. Customer service problem management, support of the new page to be designed for test results and contextual side panel to run diagnostics, and capability to run diagnostics on incident, order, and change requests. And we see with Yokohama, there was actually a change. So that's a valid update. We'll call it a minor update. Customer success management coming up next. And I want more of that chocolate. Maybe that's why I don't do it, because I just sit there and stuff my face. Timeline views on the engagement record, engagement hierarchy view, product usage tab added, addition of calculated metrics. So we'll go with a minor update. Almost click Chrome there. Oops. Data collection for Oracle global licensing and advisory services. Yikes. Fixed. A bunch of fixes. And change the mid-server properties. So we're going to go with a minor update since there's a change plus some fixes. And we'll just refresh this list here. Data discovery. Release notes. Revamped data discovery user interface to enhance the data discovery experience with intuitive widgets, a streamlined user experience, and a guided setup for first-time users. AI/machine learning based data patterns for intelligent discovery of sensitive data. So this is like if you wanted to search for like birth dates, or that's a bad example because that's just a date. If you wanted to search your system for credit card numbers, social security numbers, some kind of data pattern, data, and they can discover it. Text to regenerate regex feature using Now Assist prompts. That's what I loved AI for, is generate my regex. Data discovery policies to streamline configurations to discover sensitive data. Additional support for Excel and .csv files, I guess, as attachments. Full scan and incremental scan support for the data discovery jobs, and column level discovery of sensitive data. I'm going to make this one a highlight, and I actually want to play with that one because that looks fun. The data grid UI component. There's I have a customer. I love this customer. I love working with them. They, in the enterprise architecture workspace, there is a data grid for application rationalization. And one of their requests, let's see here, application rationalization. Look at all these tabs I got open. Good grief. Don't be like me and don't have a bunch of tabs. Close, close. Whoa. What happened? Close, close. I was doing a demo last Friday, I think, and that's why all the tabs were open. Get rid of that. Okay, so this is the data grid component right here. And one of their asks was to be able to export. And I'm struggling with how to export from this. We the technical consultant and I kind of put our heads together, and he made a button. At least we got a button up here to export, but there's an API that actually generates or pulls the data into this, because we looked at how they were bringing it in, and man, it was just a hard requirement. So that's the data grid component in real life. Just randomly wanted to show you that there. Release notes. Maybe they have an export feature. Why are they so tiny? Let's see, zoom. That's the tiniest release notes I've ever seen. Okay, a separate settings option for the grid side panel, which contains toggles for text wrapping in cells and shading alternate rows. Excuse me. Introduced usage analytics for data grid action, side panel filter enhancements, including empty state message in the filter panel, and support filtering for breakdown type columns. Updated icons for the personalizing settings options. Updated the order of the filter settings, and personalized column options. Sorry, because my beverage is making me burp. And a bunch of fixes. I don't know if this really qualifies as a highlight, but what the heck. We'll give it to them. Call it a highlight. All right. Next up. Ooh, couldn't be. We're zoomed in too much now. Data loss prevention incident response. Let's see what's new there. Fixed. Adding a dependency on an explicit role. Check Yokohama. Yeah, okay, so they did update it. So that's a fix. Data model for order management. Let's see what they did there. Support for nested objects, arrays, and custom attributes to model complex products, and support for header discounts on the order. Oh, forgot to check if that's a recent release note. So let's go to Yokohama. 12.5.0. Yeah, so they definitely updated it. Okay, so we'll call that a minor update. Data model for SBOM, or software bill of materials. If you weren't familiar with that acronym, Added new indexes to improve query performance on key tables. That sounds like something none of us really care about, but it's important. Not diminishing it's important, but call it a minor update. Data privacy. Release notes detect and mask sensitive data during agent and requester conversations using data privacy for virtual agent. AI and machine learning based data patterns for intelligent anonymization of sensitive data, recurring data anonymization jobs, error logging tracking, anonymization of encrypted fields. This feels like a feature list, not a release notes. View anonymized field, journal fields, and classic UI was the last update before version 7. So I'm going to assume this is new. So we'll call this a highlight because that looks pretty cool. Data visualizations, gotta love them. Enable standard deviation in the metric selection. Ooh. Add color configuration changes based on target value in single score data visualizations. Add color configuration changes. Okay, so change the color based on targets. Okay. Add an option to select compact mode and target/gap text wrap for single data score data visualization. And some fixes. I'm going to go with a minor update on that one. Decision Builder, one of my favorite apps that's underused. And for some reason, the store doesn't want to put it in the new UI. Don't know why. No major changes in this release, so we'll call it compatibility. I love this. Look, it's a major release, but there are no major changes in this release. So it's not major. It was minor. And it's a minor release. Please help me, everybody. Minor release. Okay, minor update. Actually, we'll call it compatibility update. Probably the same for decision table builder. No major changes. So we'll call it compatibility update. The reason I call it compatibility update is what they're doing is they're keeping these version numbers. Where's my rectangle? These version numbers in sync with something else that was version 28. So it's probably, let's see, Decision Builder is in Workflow Studio. Let's just test my theory here. Let's go search 28.0.0. Open frame. Yeah, it's not. My theory is wrong. Interesting. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, deployment pipeline is up next. We got through about 20 something of these, or yeah. Deploy apps built in C App Engine Studio product, and I've already done the App Engine Studio, so this is going to be a compatibility update. DevOps Change Health Scan Content Pack. Enhance the user experience for DevOps health scans in the DevOps Change workspace. Okay, minor release, so we'll go with minor update. DevOps change velocity. Surely some. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, we got a big one here. Even though it says minor release. All right, let's go through it. Import-based evidence collection framework. Improve instance efficiency by skipping step-level pipeline processing for accelerated change management and evidence collection for GitHub and Azure DevOps orchestration tools. Support for mid-server cluster. Improved user experience for DevOps change health scans, which we just saw in the last one. Pipeline association for GitHub actions. You know, I actually haven't done a GitHub integration with DevOps. I've done Azure DevOps, and I've done Jira. I haven't done GitHub. Maybe I'll do that in the future. Tool connection check status. If a tool is marked as disconnected because of a system-generated failure during an unsuccessful connection check, any subsequent successful check automatically updates the connection status to connected. If you manually disconnect the tool status remains disconnected even if there's a subsequent successful connection check. Okay. New roles for vulnerability integration. Support for multiple test summaries in single Azure DevOps pipeline step. GitHub pipeline rename. Previously renaming a GitHub workflow caused event processing to be ignored. Well, that's not good. Now it stores the context of the individual GitHub workflow, runs and updates pipeline names prior to event processing, and improvements to Agile 2.0 story release syncing. Previously unmapped or unchained or changed releases in Agile 2.0 stories did not have outdated mappings removed, leading to inaccurate story lists for each release. Okay. I'm going to call this one highlight. A lot going on there. I'm a fan of Azure DevOps. I'm not Azure DevOps, of ServiceNow's DevOps change velocity. Let's take a look at their data model. Import, so minor update. See, okay, this is a good example. This is what I was trying to show you earlier with the App Engine Studio. See how they're keeping this suite of applications all at the same version, 6.1.0. So what happens is, like, there was obviously a major change in DevOps change velocity, but there may not have been anything in DevOps integrations, but they'll still version it and they'll say no changes in this release. So that's what I was talking about there. But let's continue going through DevOps data model. I just did that one. Minor update. Sorry. DevOps feature flag integrations. No code updates were made in this release. The release number has been updated to maintain consistency with changes in related DevOps applications. And I'm grinning because, see, I told you so. They've educated me through these release notes. That's the only reason I know. DevOps Insights. Let's see. No code updates. DevOps Insights is this little dashboard that you can see kind of what's going on with all the integrations. Integration with Argo CD or continuous delivery. Again, compatibility. DevOps integrations. Improved collection framework. Okay, minor update. DevOps vulnerability integrations. No changes. Compatibility update. And lastly, the DevOps workspace. Let's see what happened there. Same thing, so minor update. Interesting. Okay, so what are we at now? 665. Glad that changed. It was 666. Let's see. Dex application. Now I'm really hungry after eating that stupid piece of chocolate. Thank you, Jerry Wong. It's not stupid. It was delicious. But now I'm like hungry. I should have grabbed a jam bar. Dex application and device health. Interesting, we're in this run of applications that's in the old store UI and not the new store UI. And there's not a little button to go to the new UI. Oh my goodness. Let's see, they're calling it a minor release. Okay. Highlights. Access your organization's green IT maturity with actionable insights to identify improvement areas, track and analyze call performance for particular user in Microsoft Teams, view the consolidated alerts related to devices and apps in the alert section, view the new Dex landing page, view real-time data for alerts, change requests, and incidents that are impacting a device in the device event section, create a remedial action from a check definition, execute a remedial action for a Dex alert on multiple impacted devices simultaneously, manage device and application configuration. This is going to be a highlight, by the way. New, assign ITIL-related roles to Dex user, monitor Microsoft Teams call quality, create a remedial action, and then device health page. New Coral theme, enhancements to the web and installed apps monitoring setup, administrative cards, track experience scores of an individual app, change in this release, modified devices page, updated landing page, updated users link reference, changed device alerts, and they removed some stuff. Impacted users and active user cards, users page, users list page, and users and devices filters from the devices page. Wow, quite a lot going on in the Dex application, which is digital end user experience, I believe the name of that one. So let's go with a highlight. We have the desktop assistant. See the other one for product release notes. So we'll call this one a compatibility update. Ooh, diagram builder got updated. Let's see what's going on with diagram builder. Ooh, accessibility version 2 with arrow key navigation for diagrams, A11Y support for advanced shape templates and group nodes of diagrams, support for Go.js extensions, support for reusable shapes, diagram builder palette enhancements, upgraded Go.js, diagram builder drag and drop enhancement, support for updating the palette JSON model, support for group nodes and search operations, and they fixed some things. They're calling it a minor release. I'm going to go with highlight. That seems interesting. Ooh, got a comment. Certain 591. Will that Dex have an impact with the new UI 16? I don't know. It's Dex is monitoring end user experience for devices that are being monitored, but I don't know if it's monitoring the end user experience for ServiceNow users. If it is, that's news to me. Certain 591. I think it's just devices. So like if someone had a Windows box, a Windows station, or I assume a Mac laptop or a studio or something, That's what I use as a studio. Then the digital experience is supposed to do all those stuff that they're saying, I think. But I don't know that it monitors ServiceNow's user experience. That's a great question. I don't know. Sorry. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. Digital experience score. I think this is related. See Dex application and device health. Oh, you're not familiar with it. Okay, yeah. So he's not saying he's. I'm sorry, I don't know that you're he. Certain 591 is saying that you weren't familiar with Dex. So let's go take a look at Dex real quick. I've got a friend who works at ServiceNow, and him and I were talking about Dex here recently. Let's just search for Dex. Dex architecture should get me to digital end user experience. Offers comprehensive monitoring for apps, networks, and devices, promoting optimal performance across all channels. It includes application and device health monitoring for monitoring performance and compliance, a playbook for facilitating remediation with policies and metric checks, and a desktop assistant for integrating ServiceNow functionalities into the daily end user workflows. So I think of this as like a service desk. Do you remember the help the service desk application? What was it called? It was like service desk helper or something like that. It's discontinued. They no longer sell it or distribute it. But it was basically something you could run locally on your desktop that the service desk could then kind of see stuff about your device. And I think this is what replaced that. Certain 591 is this functionality. So explore provides end-to-end visibility into the applications. And for examples of how different people in your organization would use Dex, have see these users and roles. So an engineer responsible for accessing, executing remedial actions, a user using the features provided by Dex, and the service desk agent. Desktop users. Oh, here's a good visual. Okay, inventory, usage and performance, events and alerts, recommended knowledge, remedial actions, and incident collaboration via trend analysis, SaaS and installed app usage and performance, incident enrichment, proactive engagement, desktop inventory and health. Hopefully that's helpful. Certain 591. I think it's pretty neat application that I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I definitely could if I had extra time. Okay, did I do this one yet? Digital experience score. I think it did, and it said see the other notes. Yeah, so compatibility update. Compatibility. Digital operational resilience management. That's a lot of words, a lot of buzzwords. New field level validations have been added to meet regulator requirements. Does anybody know the Warren G reference? Okay, this application data model has been updated to align with regulators' data model and translation. Okay, minor update for this one. Oh God, certain 591 just made me laugh. I'll let you guys see what he just posted. Possibly new Clippy tool for end users. Smiley face. Yes, I remember Clippy. I never had a problem with Clippy, but a lot of people didn't like Clippy. But now it's like so weird that things have come full circle. Like they had Clippy, they got rid of it because people hated it, and now like there's agents and little bots everywhere that we can talk to. So interesting to me. Digital portfolio management. Oh goodness, DPM can be configured to show more than one KPI group. Needs attention feature on many screens. Added a loading state spinner to needs attention right rails and DPM. Right rails. We have recreated the overdue incidents indicator with DPM scope. Updated the portfolio list component and renamed application service to service instance per updated CSDM naming conventions. Really? I didn't know that. It must be in the new CSDM that I haven't read yet. And then a bunch of fixes. I'm going to go with minor update. They said minor release. Some good stuff in there, but it's nothing like to call home and tell your mom about. Digital product release. This replaces or has replaced release management, if you guys didn't know that. Digital product release. Manage configuration items for each phase of the release. Automate adding configuration items in the release to the affected CIs. Product versions can now be used in multiple releases. An option for release tasks to automatically move into work in progress when previous release task is completed. Go with a minor update on that one. The data model for digital product release changes the data model for associating configuration items. So still stay with minor. Digital, interesting. The thing I told you about the versions keep being consistent is actually not true here. So these guys 2.2.0 have gotten away from the main digital product release application. So what I said earlier is not true for this application. Certain 591 says digital DPM will be huge. CMDB and vuln downstream changes. Yes, I agree. I didn't. So there's vulnerability management going on in there too. Interesting. Maybe I missed that. But yeah, I haven't played around with DPM much either. I don't get asked about it a lot. So when I don't get asked, I don't play, I guess. Added a new policy, validate change requests. Okay, we'll call that minor. And then the workspace for digital product release. Manage configuration items, automate adding configuration items, product versions. It's the same one as the main one, so we'll go with minor update. Digital resilience incident reporting. Ooh, we're back to the new UI. Fixed. App has been updated to work with the latest changes. It's Smart Assessment Engine related to category. I love Smart Assessment Engine. I'm a big fan. Let's see. Let's go patch 4. Okay, yeah, they did update it for this. So this is a fix. Yeah, I think smart assessments are like so much easier to configure and much easier to work with them from a building them and using them or responding to them. Digital resilience third-party information register. Ooh, change. The download template has been updated to align with the regulator template. Regulators! Sorry. Oh man, showing how old I am. Okay, so it looks like it did update. We'll call that a minor update. Digital signature component. Ask a user signature for important documents or other artifacts. Fixed cursor and signature color in dark mode. That's a minor update. Yep, definitely a minor update. Let's refresh this so I can keep tabs on my not screened up here. Discovery admin workspace. This is another one I haven't played with because me and Discovery don't get along for some reason. Change the CAPI to patterns and probes to pattern migration cards. The cards that display on the ITOM visibility apps page have been updated. An actions button has been added to the anomaly detection tab and some fixes. Okay, we'll go with minor update. Discovery and service mapping patterns. Yay. How could you not love these? Wow. 22 new patterns for the following Azure services. I'm not going to read all these. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Lots of stuff in there. Google Cloud Platform and Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager, plus a crap ton of fixes. Good grief. A lot of fixes. It's raining again. And they changed a bunch of stuff. All right, this is going to be a highlight. I'm not going to read all this stuff, but for those of you that are ITOM Discovery geeks, this is probably of interest to you. Wow, it's really raining. Dispute rules content pack for MasterCard. Ooh. Let's see the release notes. As part of this release, deny ACLs were introduced in the existing tables. See what I mean? I'm seeing this a lot. Will restrict access for unauthenticated users on CRUD operations. So if you're building in ServiceNow, this seems to be a trend to add deny ACLs for unauthenticated users. I just don't, to me, like, if you don't meet the allow ACLs, why would you not be denied? Like, I don't know. It's a strange question. Was that a fix or was that an update? Let me click on that again. New. Okay, so we'll call it a minor update. DLP incident response integrations with Microsoft. Fixed released email from quarantine failure for DLP Exchange Online. Yeah, so definitely. Look at the versioning here. It's just so weird. I've just never seen versions done this way. ServiceNow, you're weird. Okay, minor update. Was that minor update or was it a fix? It's twice in a row I've done that. Fix with a fix. DLP incident response integration with Netscope. Fix resolved an intermittent issue with DLP incident ingestion from Netscope. Yep. Okay, so we'll call it another fix. Document approval app template. This is going to say, see the App Engine release notes, I'm sure. Yep. So compatibility update. Document intelligence. Who doesn't want intelligent documents? Added support for Coral theme. I don't know what this Coral theme means, but I have noticed when I log into an instance that has been upgraded. So like this is my Zurich instance, that the login page is different. I don't know if I'm colorblind. This doesn't look red, and when I hear Coral, I think red. But this was new when I noticed that. So oh gosh, now I gotta log back in. That's okay. We don't need to log back in during the live stream. Ooh, I got 7 minutes left. Okay, document intelligence. What does it say? None? Release notes, none. Zurich. Oh, okay. That was for Yokohama. None. 7.07. Add support for Coral theme. Okay, so this is a minor update. Document processor. Release notes. As part of this release, deny ACLs were introduced in existing tables. Minor update. Now, for those of you that actually sat through this, or you're stopping in now, there will be another store release when Zurich goes general availability. So right now we're in Zurich early access, and you saw all those updates. But general availability, they'll release like a whole swath of new stuff in addition to this. So I'll be doing this all over again in a month, or probably less than a month now. Personal authentication support, new subflow for updating document permissions, and new subflow for deleting document permissions. Let's check the previous version. Yeah, so it did actually change, and we'll go with a minor update. Document templates, part of the document intelligence, I think. Version summary. Okay, new signing support for PDF templates on mobile browser and now mobile for following signing types: ServiceNow Sign, Adobe Sign, and DocuSign. Full Windows signing experience for document templates on Employee Center with the RE. Now mobile browser, and platform for the following signing types: Adobe Sign and DocuSign. Signing support for document templates directly from HR Agent Workspace via one-click redirection, and filing review PDF document templates directly from the HR Agent Workspace. Okay, this looks like a highlight to me. Yes, definitely changed since the last version, so let's call that one a highlight. DocuSign e-signature spoke. New actions: lock envelope, unlock envelope, resend envelope, and upsert envelope upsert envelope recipients. Is that actually a word? Let's see. Search Google. Upsert is a database operation that combines the actions of inserting a new record and updating an existing one into a single operation. What? How do you upsert? It checks if a record with a specific identifier exists. If it does, the existing record is updated. If the record doesn't exist, a new record is inserted. Okay, I learned something new today. Upsert. Okay, change actions, look up recipients in an envelope and remove recipient from envelope. Okay, I'm gonna go with a minor update, even though I learned a new word, upsert. Word of the day, everybody, is upsert. Minor update. And when I say everybody, I mean all 5 of you. My numbers are dwindling. I know this is boring, but I got to get this done. Email interaction for CSM. Several enhancements have been made to the email interaction agent experience. A new activity marker highlights the latest conversation. A modeless dialog allows email replies without disrupting workflow. A compact header emphasizes key message details, and the activity stream now displays only the latest reply for each email. I think that's pretty cool. Is there other versions of this? Yeah, some minor enhancements. I'm going to call this a highlight. I think it's a highlight. Email interaction for CSM. I actually want to go play with that now. Nice, certain 591. Their coffee has been upserted. Oh, man. That actually makes sense to me now that I know the definition. Upserted. It's hilarious. Highlights. Emergency app. This is going to be the App Engine Studio. See App Engine Studio. Yeah, compatibility update. Michael. Hey, Michael. He said it's not boring, just clashing with work time. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, I know. I had to pick a time when I started this, and I just picked 1 o'clock Eastern. But yeah, good to see you on here. I haven't seen you in a minute. I haven't seen you comment in a minute, I guess. But good to see you again. Emergency exposure management. I think this is going to be a compatibility update again. Minor ACL updates, probably the deny ACLs that we're seeing in other apps. So we'll call it a minor update. Emergency outreach. Minor ACL updates. Let's just make sure. Yep. Minor update. Emergency self-report. Watching the time there in the upper right. Minor ACL updates. See all this extra work I do for you all. I just try to make sure that I'm actually looking at the most recent update. So I'm checking those other versions just to compare. I'm planning on automating all that. So basically, Jay Benson gave me some API commands, API information to use and to redo my store crawler. I just haven't had time. Every time I go to work on it, I get stuck on something and then I have to go do something else. But all right, this is Employee Center. It's a big app. Recent changes: improved mega menu performance, improved resilience during high traffic events, identified and removed existing outdated content and sync new content to associated categories, enhanced request experience for better configurability and user experience. What you need: get skeleton loaders for existing widgets and asynchronous load time processing to improve overall portal performance, and get the Employee Center browser, damn browser extension, to stay connected with your Employee Center portal activities even when you're working on an external application. Note, browser extension feature requires the Employee Center for Browser Extension plugin that we tried to do on last week's live stream. Sorry, late. And I failed miserably. Let's just make sure that this is the actual new stuff. Yes. So I'm going to go with a highlight on that one. Everybody has most everybody has Employee Center at this point. If you don't, you should update to support the latest version of the dependent apps. There we go, compatibility update. But they did that in June too. See, all right, this is a great example. Well, I guess that could be legit. It was updated, not actually any changes. Okay, we'll just go with compatibility update. I was gonna give them a hard time, call it a release note fail, but Employee Center for Microsoft Viva connections. This will be our last one, everybody. Fixed minor defects. I love when they don't tell you. Well, it changed. They added a bullet. They removed the bullet, so I guess they added it. Okay, so fix. All right. So how did that change our numbers? Let's go back and look at, where did I do that? I think it was this one. Applications. SSH version 2025-0805. And we'll filter out, or filter on ServiceNow, and then we'll group by category. So now we're up to 131 compatibility, 45 fixes, 3 ghosts, 32 highlights, 84 minor updates, 64 new releases, and I've got 633 to go. So that's the live stream, everybody. Certain591 and Michael, thank you so much for leaving comments. And Certain591, thank you for the recommendation on the Milka delicious candy bar. I'll be here next Wednesday. I'll hopefully be done with these updates by next Wednesday. Hopefully I'll have the time. But every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 1700 UTC until the time changes in November. And then it'll be 1800 UTC. So for now, 1700 if you're international or not in the States. Let's see, what else? I'm going to run the video, whatever, but there is the Null Edge conference coming up in October, brought to you by Jason and the team. So if you haven't signed up for that already, go sign up. Or I think there's still time to submit content too. So if you wanted to talk about something, you've got 4 days left to submit content. And there'll be a QR code on one of the screens on the video that'll show if you want to find me on socials, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. I don't post a lot there anymore, but you can find me using that QR code. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Where's my video? Here we go. Live.